All right, making an improvement to my Cope Master. So what I've got here is I've got a sliding gauge, and you can see it's HPME or HDME or whatever this hard plastic stuff is. I cut a recess in the back. I've got female studs coming up through the bottom and male studs going through the top. And then I've got a multi-master blade here, and I grounded off the teeth. And the idea is I put my piece up, okay, when I make my first cut, when I'm first setting up my depth of cut. So I have my sample down here and I'm setting up my first piece. What I'll do is I'll slide this in forward until the blade is cutting right up to this line, and then I'll stop. And then I'll lock this gauge or this clamp down. And then what I'll do is I'll loosen up these two lock nuts. And what that does is that allows me to slide it around. But there's this piece of hard plastic in the center with some set nut or set screws in the ends, and that takes all the slop out of that. So there's zero slop in this plastic. And the idea is that wherever I end up putting my piece, whether it's crown or whatever, I slide the piece in place and I set it right there. Okay, and you can see there's movement. I can slide this back and forth about a little over ½ inch probably. You don't need much because all you're doing is registering off the uncut part at the bottom. So I'm going to do that there. And what I'll do is I'll lock in the front. And that way I can still rotate the back around. And I want to make sure as I'm pushing on this, I'm making sure that I'm not flexing this blade at all. You see? So there's no tension on this blade. I don't want to be deflecting it. And then I tighten it down. And now what I've done is I've created a right angle here. And when I pull this away, because I don't want to obviously cut through my gauge here, I can go ahead and cut this and then slide it out of the way, get my next piece, slide it in, slide the next one up. And I'm not doing this by hand. You know, there's a lot of variation that can happen if you're using some piece that you've just kind of marked with a pencil or something like that. So this is a lot more precise. This is how you get duplicates that are truly the same length.